Hello my friends, welcome to another episode of Warhammer 40,000 Inquisitor. My name is Wilfred, and first of all, Happy New Year. Hope you have a good celebration. I've done a lot of gaming over the holiday, playing Diablo 3 Season 25 as well as the Warhammer 40,000 Inquisitor Season 4. Now, this season has been really interesting for this game, and I discovered something called the Void Crusade. Now, I'm very new to the game, and like a lot of you, just probably exploring what the game can do, and it's really mind-blowing. The game design is really fun. So this is the Void Crusade. It's a little bit like Path of Exile's lab run, a little bit like their mapping as well, but it's in a very unique way. It's different as well, and I suppose this is one of the end game kind of like a game mode available after you have reached level 50. And if that's so, then I think it's a really good, solid end game kind of like a progression. It gives you a little bit more depth in terms of like a series of mission that comes together, things that you should discover, and you can discover within the map and so on. There's a kind of like risk and reward as well. I'll get into that in just a bit, because I actually stitched together 10 missions into one video for you guys. Because I'm new to the game, I've spent about 3 hours in real time to play this Void Crusade, and it's really fun. There's some failure here and there, you can see in just a bit. Not all the missions have got success, and that of course affect how far I can get within this Void Crusade as well. So now to start with is that you have to collect shards, the Void Shard, in order to exchange for the Void Crusade, and there are multiple types of it. At the beginning of the video, you saw a list of currency there. And so what you need to do is to sort of like play the game and collect all this shard. You could actually use some other mechanism to earn some shard as well. And once you hit 5, you could open up the Void Crusade, which is a series of missions connected in a map that you see there. And ultimately, there's a supreme mission that you have to tackle, and but it doesn't stop you from exploring different part of the map as well, or different part of the chain as well. The idea is that some of the mission are so-called the checkpoint mission, whereby they will increase the difficulty. So as you continue playing this game, playing through the map progression, you would be increasing the difficulties, which is great, right? Because that is what we like to play the game. Like the more you play, the harder it becomes. And by the way, this is one of the missions that I failed because I was a little bit too ambitious towards adding a lot of difficulties onto the map. But we'll get there in just a bit. So the map progression is that there are some key mission or the checkpoint whereby they will increase difficulty by 1. So every increase or difficulties, the enemy would be stronger. And by the way, this is the bad time because I was doing pretty okay, just the last boss to kill. But then it spawned a seasonal boss, and seasonal boss is actually not easy. Well, it's doable, but it's not easy combined with the mission boss, combined with the difficulties I set to myself, that some of these elite become stronger. So I think I just stood at the fire for too long. There's some burn effect, and that's it, game over. That was a game over to me. Now, what is the implication of the mission failed in this whole Void Crusade? A couple of things. There is only 5 life that you have in the Void Crusade, or you can go for hardcore mode, whereby only 1 life with better loot quality, of course. So there's 5 life to sustain throughout the entire kind of like a chain until you get a supreme mission. The second thing is that, of course, it closed off one of the paths, because as you can see just now on the map itself, they have 4 paths leading to 4 different kind of like a scenario for the supreme mission. But if you fail a mission, then one of the paths is cut off, and potentially you lose some of the loot kind of like opportunity as well, because the more map that you do, the better it becomes, of course, the loot quality. You get more keys and you got more reward, just like Path of Exile, the Labyrinth run as well, whereby you could skip a lot of like those keys if you want to, but if you want to do a little bit more, you can get more key, and that's what we are playing for, because more key it is, the more loot box that you could open towards the end, and that is where the fun begins, or I would say. Now, the mission type is very much standard to what the Warhammer 40,000 Inquisitors mission is about. So some of them could be like collecting data, which is one of my least favorable because you know you have to stand there, press F for a long time, and you know getting bombarded by all the bullets, and sometimes I just can't sustain the kind of damage, and I have to kind of interrupt the whole process. Another one is purge, like you know, sort of like kill all the enemies, which is alright if the map is small, but if the map is big, it's kind of like, you know, kind of quite annoying as well. And then of course there are other things, the hunts and so on. Now what you saw just now, by the way, is the tarot card. So the tarot card works in such a way that you can increase the difficulties of the mission with a certain kind of bonus, be it as better loot quality, more shards, more influence, more credit, you know. So there are things that you could kind of like, you know, make the mission more difficult for you, so that you could gain more kind of like reward towards the end of mission. And it's not just for Void Crusade. You can use it for ordinary assignment as well, random assignment or priority assignment, or you know, so long as it's not story, you could actually use it. So the tarot card works such a way that there's there's one major card and two minor cards that you can play up to. You don't have to do all three cards. You don't have to do anything at all. You could just like, you know, stay as it is, like, you know, no card. Just it's enough difficulties. But it's really up to you, because I do it because of the season journey as well. The seasonal journey require me to do some of the require me to finish like 15 Torah missions. So it kind of like I do two things at the same time. So one of course is trying to complete the mission, get some kind of like a good loot. Another one is really to progress in my seasonal journey, which I have not done finished one before. You know, this season I try because it does need some kind of like dedication, and suddenly I kind of like figure out how to play this game. You know, it's quite a lot of things inside. There's quite a lot of things to learn, and seasonal journey is a good place, just like Diablo 3, to learn about a game, because that would kind of like give you the introduction to what you should look out for, what you should be crafting, and forces you to really read up the tutorial and do a little bit more about it. So yeah, I mean that is a good fun time for me. So now, as you can see here, I am sort of like, you know, this is one of the couple of like target I need to eliminate, and there's execution here as well. Crusader and Assassin are the two classes that can execute a target. I think it's kind of fun. Sometimes if I do it right, you can pull the head out from the enemy and all the blood coming out. Some of these are machines, so there's no blood, I guess. I don't know. So yeah, I mean, this is one of the Norgol, which is it's pretty big monster. I guess the you know, yeah, I mean, my build is quite strong, I would say. Previously in my videos, I've been using the great sword that does a lot of spinning, so it's a little bit like a whirlwind Diablo 3 kind of barbarian. But I don't have a good great sword. I don't have the blueprint to craft it either, so it's a bit of bumper. So that I really love the build a lot. It's a big kind of build with a lot of movement. I can just keep spinning. But the thunder, this is a thunder axe, I believe, or something like that. It is pretty powerful stuff. If you really tune into the whole Warhammer kind of like a universe, I think it's quite iconic for any character to carry the thunder hammer, which is a big one, and you can really feel it hitting something. The sound effect is fantastic. So the couple of ability that by the way, this is the tarot card that I'm talking about. You can add all these like you know, different difficulties to make the mission more rewarding, by the way. So the as you can see, what I am doing here with my hammer, the thunder hammer, is that first of all I can leap, which is great because it closes off the distance to the enemy, and it does a decent kind of like a AOE that does damage around me. Then you have this like a shockwave, which is very much like Barbarian in Diablo 3 or in many other games as well, which is a front cone damage. But I have to kind of direct it into a line of enemy. So sometimes it's not the most effective way to take down a lot of mobs, but it is pretty strong taking the stuff in front. And then I have the left and right button, so one of them is a basic attack power, another one, this is seasonal boss by the way. You see a little toolbar in front of above the health bar. That is the new season 4 mechanism, whereby once you start killing enemies or killing elites, and you get the bar filled up, and it carry on to the next mission as well, so it doesn't stop there. And once you hit the full bar, then the boss you spawn is a big boss, and it does give you a reward as well, by the way. So again, going back to the thunder axe that I have over here, is that I've besides the leap as well as the kind of shockwave, I can do I can have the single target as well as the armor breaking target knockdown. So by the way, you may have spotted that for those who are with keen eyes, you may have spotted that as I play this Crusader, I may sometimes use a gun as well. And I use one of the very nice meta gun, which is a heat energy kind of like a gun. Initially I didn't carry a gun because I said, well, I can have an axe, I can have a great sword, I can swap between the two, happy time. But I realized that my Crusader is not very good against enemy that spray fire around it, and actually pretty lousy about it as well. I don't really have a lot of heat resistance kind of stat, and that make it really terrible because it make it really hard to get close to the target, whereby I get burned all the time and get burned, deal damage over time against me, and it's not a happy scenario. So in view of that, what I've done is that I have my main hand, which is using the axe, the thunder axe. Then I'm using a gun, one of the best gun that I've got, as a backup. So if the situation is very dire, like the lot of like tanks or whatever that burns in up front, then I'll try to play the range character, which is kite the target a little bit, thin them out so as not to group all the bosses and mobs together. Just because the area, the map in this game is pretty large, it doesn't restrict you into like small corners. Unlike Diablo 3, sometimes it's very hard to drag the mob out. So you could actually drag some of the mob out, and I can use some of the like AoE to thin them out a little bit, to separate them out, and then I can take them out, divide and conquer. But that's what I learned, and it kind of saved me a couple of times as well, because like I said, Void Crusade only have 5 lives, so that is the things that you see there. By the way, all these effects that you see are those random effects. I believe it's random. Sounds pretty random to me, but it could well be something scripted, which as you progress through the bar, as you see a bar there in the season 4 mechanism, then sometimes you can shock or stun all the target around you, or just eliminate all the targets around you as well, or you can have the thing that go around you. Sometimes you may have things like the invulnerable for 10 seconds. Sometimes you may summon a turret, summon another marine to fight with you. So it's kind of fun. This season is fun. It's very different from what I've played at least I dabbled in last season. So this is mission 7. I have altogether 10 of them, so it's towards the end already. So yeah, I use a gun as a backup, which kind of saved me quite a lot of time to. By the way, this is the servo skull, which is cool because first of all, it's a season target, so you have to kill one of them as a servo skull kill, then it counts as a season journey. Another reason why is that for the Void Crusade, I think there's some bonus towards the servo skull. I think if you collect 3 of them, you get another extra key or what have you. So it is pretty cool. It works a little bit like the Globin in Diablo 3, whereby it will start running away and you have to take it down before it self-destruct. So yeah, so that is the fun part of it. So I got that as well. So as you see, I've been leveled up to 59, later on 60. So it's pretty happy. Still another 40 level to go. It's quite a fair bit of story to churn through as well. So by the way, you see I have 3 keys there, and I think one more kind of info fragment as well I've collected. So yeah, I mean, you know, it's been a really fun game. I've played a lot of ARPG, and this is likely to be one of my favorite in 2021. Although I do spend a lot of time in Diablo 3, you guys know that I'm not going to stop playing that. But I find this one really fun as well. So I'm very keen to see what the end game would be like, at least for my melee character. I think the first character I've got was a ranged character, or you know, well, the first character was more like a tech priest, which is like a pet class. But yeah, I mean, by the way, this is the gun I'm using as well, because I see it does a lot of like fire around me, which it's very hard for me to dodge as a melee. But once I get close, I can keep stunning it, so that is pretty cool. So yeah, I was saying that this is the first character I play, which is melee, and I enjoy a lot, immensely. So yeah, I mean, you know, I do advise you all, if you jump into this game, please do. It's a really fun game. Start a melee character, which I think is super fun. Unless you're reading the guns, which is also fun, I guess. You know, if you spec it accordingly. Yeah. So I was just talking to one of my friends on YouTube, I believe, and about this game, and the fact that it doesn't really, you can't really spec for hybrid, in the sense that you can't be good at both melee and range. You have to somehow make a decision. So now my the way that I spec it is quite a fair bit of my points go into defense mechanism, because you know, if you fail, then you know, if character die, just die. So health is in it, as well as I've got health, I've got, like, you know, a lot of kind of resistance and so on. So that is something that I'm doing. But I'm also kind of specking on the crit as well. So crit kind of like applied to both the melee as well as the ranged. But what the difference is that because I foresee myself playing melee quite a fair bit, so I am actually investing my point or passive into melee and physical. So melee is very much like Power style. If you set your mind into doing something, then yeah, I mean, that is the end goal that you want to go, right? So it's not easy to you could actually reset the points, but very much like Power style, it costs quite a bit to reset the point. At least that's how I see it. By the way, the seasonal boss again, so it's fun time. So you know, I mean, if I were to use a gun, then as a Crusader, then of course I could do that too. Then I will spec it as a range as well as maybe hit, because hit will be the one that because a lot of guns I've seen are using hit, so the physical is more like a melee weapon. So yeah, I mean, that is at least the build mentality that I have got. So yeah, I mean, this is the yeah. So by the way, this scenario is more like a capture the flag kind of like a scenario, whereby you have to go to different kind of location, eliminate the enemy, so that you take over the whatever you call it, the beacon or whatever that summon the alliance. Yeah. So that is the mission number 9, and mission number 10 would be the last mission, and the I mean, I could have done a little bit more over the other side to get some +1 here and there, minus +2 here and there. But I really want to complete it, because if I fail, then you know, then I lose the end reward. So this is a supreme mission, the last one. So whether I succeed or fail, it will end the whole entire Void Crusade. So this is the last bit of it. I hope you enjoy, and I'll try and narrate through this as well. So this is to eliminate 3 targets, and as you can see, things are getting a little bit difficult. I think it's a +4 already right now, or +4, +5, I can't quite remember. So things getting a little bit more difficult, but I can see that it is not impossible, so I'm quite optimistic. But like this one here is pretty hairy, because you have got the boss, and then you've got the elite that spawn as well, the one that with the icon below it. And one thing that I really like about this game, and I think you know, I think I can really say that is that they mark the elite so clearly for you, because in this moment, as you see all these things, and they're, by the way, it's so dying. It's like, oh my god, I'm going to die. So you can see that there's a special elite there. It's not a champion, but it's something that pretty powerful stuff. This is the villain. They call it villain. So they mark it with a triangle so that you can clearly see where the villain is. And I think this is something great. I mean, imagine if there was no triangle there, because a lot of games, they don't really mark the tough bosses that well. Even like Marvel Heroes as well. If you play Marvel Heroes in the past, you tend to really can't see the villain. It's like, where the heck is the villain? But they mark it so well that, yeah, I mean, I really like it. So it's one of those small things that they do, which I find it is pretty useful to the whole UI design and gameplay. And you can see also, if I don't know whether you guys notice or not, a lot of game has floating text in terms of damage or healing, but the floating text is always above like them, or sometimes become big. But this one is around it like a ball. So in a sense that even if you receive a lot of like damage, you can sort of like see what's around it, but it's not overwhelmed with the screen without a lot of number. Though you kind of have a sense that, oh no, you are getting hit like left, right, and center, and kind of thing. But there's small things that this game have designed that I find it is really cool. That I like it a lot. So in any case, I mean, this is one of the second last target, I think, to get in there. Now, just want to talk a little bit about gear kind of upgrade as well. So as I play the Void Crusade, of course I get the loot and I get to upgrade my gear slowly. And this game, unlike other kind of like game setup, is that the ability is determined by the gear that you use. So, by the way, I use a gun right now here. So previously, the letter number 3, the numeral 3, which is one of the ability. If you go back to the beginning of the video, I actually create a shield around me. You can see the blue shield around me. So what that device does is that to create a shield around the character to temporarily absorb the kind of like damage. So that is the thing that I do. But then after that, I did upgrade, and I kind of didn't read it too well. But I guess I should have read it. But it was meant to be a good upgrade, so I did it anyway. So with the upgrade I believe it's increased crit chance, because whenever I click the button, I can see the plus crit chance. So it's not that bad. I mean, I don't know. Retrospectively, I should have read a little bit better, and I would have like I probably would have kept the shield, because shield is kind of important as well. So yeah, and also you see this shield that's around me, this little shield here. So I've got this thunder hammer or axe, or thunder hammer, I think thunder hammer. That has a very good property, but I think it has been nerfed a couple of times, well, at least nerfed once at least in the past. Is that randomly you create a shield around me and I become invulnerable. So that's a pretty good quality there. So yeah, that's it, done. I've got the mission completed. That is the last supreme mission, and with that I will need to find a teleport kind of device, which by the way is so annoying because it's the other end of the map. So I have to walk all the way back to the teleport to find it. And then here we are, a room full of loot boxes, just like Path of Exile. You play Path of Exile at the end of the lab. That is what you see, is that you have keys and you open a lot of loot boxes. So the first one is, I believe this is Supreme Void Chest. So that is to reward you for completing the Supreme quest. And there are some, like, I have to check whether my inventory still have space or not, because otherwise I need to clear some space. There are some void chests available as well. I think those are like, yeah, so these are the void chests. And some of them, they'll tell you what you may have inside. So I was just so tired last night because I played until very late. But if mouse over, it will say contain what. So the void shard is a good one, because you can collect void shard and then start doing more Void Crusade again. Then I got some gear, some blueprints. So yeah, I mean, that's it. I've opened 3 boxes. Of course, you can have the rest of it as well, but that would mean that you need to complete the map. And now I'm looking forward to do another video on that once I get there. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Drop me a note anytime so you'd like to ask me any question. And yeah, I'll definitely play more on this game, and give me some tips as well if you guys are veteran. Alright, I'll see you next time. Goodbye.